Good day, friends, neighbors, and others. Welcome to another hilariously unnecessary episode of Long Tracks and Tall Tales. I am your host, Scott G. Davis from Myth of Logic. With me today is my equally talented co-host, Mr. Christopher M. Clark. Chris,
Hello.
how are you doing, my man?
I am fantastic today. As you can clearly see, I only wear this when I am fantastic, and it says the little shirt on the back.
Oh,
and we
man.
don't pull this out unless we are fantastic. So
Absolutely.
I'm fantastic today.
And I am too. So that I've got my Marshall shirt on. So
Absolutely awesome.
Also fantastic. Well, today, we thought we'd do a little more timely episode out of our normal flow of things, and we're going to chat a little bit about the performance at the JUNO Awards, which was something of a shock.
Yeah.
But before we do that, a couple of programming notes here I want to address. Everyone, please say a prayer and have a thought for our good friend, Mr. Pete Pardo, over at Sea of Tranquility. Pete has recently undergone very serious brain surgery, and he is in recovery mode now. He has posted a message, and he is in recovery from that surgery. They are running on minimal output over there right now. Apparently, there'll be some shows that were recorded earlier that will be getting posted, but he is on the down low while he recovers. Pete, if you happen to watch this, please know that we're thinking about you. And if you for some reason don't know about Sea of Tranquility, please go over there and subscribe and educate yourself. It's a wealth of extremely helpful and informative programming over there, and not exclusively about prog or even about rock. He has a side channel that's all about comic books.
Right.
He also does some stuff about horror movies. Pete is just a Renaissance man.
Hands down, some of the best of whatever he's talking about. Some of the best discussion and understanding and relaying to people in layman's terms what it's all about. He's just phenomenal at it. So
Pete is the man, and all of you watching this, please go and support him and his channel. Like and subscribe everything over there. And again, Pete, if you're watching, our thoughts are with you, and we hope you get back on your feet very soon. I also wanted to make mention of a passing this week. The great Christopher North, the original keyboard player from Ambrosia, who was involved in some of my very favorite music from Ambrosia, passed away this week at the age of 75. Fantastic player, Christopher North. If you do not know about early Ambrosia, certainly if you've listened to any music from the 70s, and their hits get lumped in with the so-called yacht rock thing, if that's all you know about Ambrosia, you are cheating yourself, because there's a whole bunch of proggy goodness in that band. Plus, let's face it, David Pack, I mean, he could sing the phone book and I would give you my money. So go check out Ambrosia. And again, our positive vibrations go out to Christopher North and the other band members of Ambrosia and everyone in his family.
That's a big
our
loss.
Thoughts are with you. Yeah, a tremendous player, very theatrical, very unique stylist among keyboard players, and criminally under-recognized player. But anyway, so that's the programming notes I have today. We are going to talk about the JUNO Awards performance. And Chris, I have to ask you, this came as a complete shock to me until the videos started showing up. And, of course, there's about an 8-minute video of Getty and Alex answering questions after their performance. Did you know about this beforehand?
Yes. If you only saw it after the fact, then I knew about it before you. I had learned about it that day or Saturday night. I had seen, because I frequently get on the Rush as a Band website. And he had already posted that they had teased something special at the JUNO Awards. And in my I was automatically like, oh, this has to be them playing a song. It has to be. And so I was watching, and as he always does, whoever it is who runs that site's just phenomenal. Had a link directly to where you could watch it. So I tuned in to watch it live, and they were the opening. They opened the show with "Finding My Way" with the great Annika Niles or Niels or however you say her name.
I think it's Niles. I think that's the way Getty pronounced it when I heard him pronounce it. I think it's Niles, but anyway.
I mean, she's German, so she can say it however. but it was fantastic, in my opinion, for multiple reasons, which we can go over. A fantastic choice of "Finding My Way" as the first and only song they played that night, and she nailed it. She absolutely nailed it. She played it so well, and
she did.
Reaffirmed what I have always said and already said about her, that she is the right choice, and she's going to do great justice to Neil's work and to the band's work, because obviously "Finding My Way" was not Neil's song, it was John Rutsey's song. So she just killed it, and I thought they played very, very well. I thought they sounded great, and so I'm real excited about it. But I did know about it. I knew I had about a day's lead time on it. So yeah,
it did sound really good. Alex's guitar sound was wonderful. One of the best sounds I've heard him have in a while, and Getty as well. I mean, their sounds just blended so well. Getty had a lot of nice, warm low end going on in his tone, and Alex's guitar sound doesn't always appeal to me. You know, he might be leaning one way there, but boy, it was tough and direct, and
just like that song requires.
Exactly.
Uh-oh.
We're
chopping up again here. So let me see here.
Yeah, so yeah, the sound was tremendous, and that lent itself to the impact of the performances. I think, Annika really laid into it in the right way, and her drums sounded fantastic.
Very firm, strong playing.
They didn't really show it too much on the broadcast that I could see, but there was quite a bit of old pictures and footage of Neil on the back screen as well as Getty and Alex. So they were,
and I think they were doing. I think they're kind of telegraphing kind of what to expect on their tour. I really do. I think
possibly.
I think they're really going to delve into, this is a night where we're celebrating Neil's being in the band, and it's kind of a passing of the torch of sorts. But I think there's going to be a lot of that, and if that is the case, there's going to be a lot of tears coming from here for me.
Yeah,
that is and I loved it. I loved watching. They were playing, and there he was behind them, and Annika's kit. If anybody hadn't seen it, it was pretty interesting.
Wasn't it Tama?
It was, but it's a hodgepodge. I mean, it like her. If you look from behind her, the some of the heads were different, and some of the drums were different. And I loved it. I loved it. She's kind of because I don't know if you've ever seen her other kits, but she really has her own style of the way she sets her kit up. So this was a really good mixture, in my opinion, of putting it what you need for Rush. It's a lot more drums than she's used to, but still giving it her kind of quintessential Annika, taste to it. I thought it was great. I saw a lot of people that were griping about it. And I'm like, what are you griping about? I mean, she's not going to, are you expecting her to come out on Neil's kit? Because that's just not going to happen. I mean, it's just not going to happen. That was Neil's kit. Annika's a different player, and that's her kit. So,
I don't know what's wrong with people. It's like, what more do you want?
I don't know. And then she played the song great. She did complete justice to the part, which, like I just said earlier, and I'm going to say it again, was not. And this is, I think, one of the reasons they chose "Finding My Way." There are a couple of reasons I can delve into, but one of which is it's not Neil. It was John Rutsey's part. Right. I think it's actually really smart for them to have started off the very first time you see them with Annika. It is not Neil. It is John Rutsey.
Right.
I think that's important. Secondly, I just think that they wanted. I know that from what I've read and from what I know of them, that was the very first song they ever played live with Neil. Was "Finding My Way." And then thirdly, it's the first song on the first album. It's kind of like a new beginning, I just think that all those reasons were excellent reasons for choosing that song as being the song you played. I have to admit, when they started it, I was a little taken aback that was the song choice. I was like, wow, they went all the way back to their self-titled album for for the song. But I know I now understand why they did.
I think that this whole thing has sort of either inspired or maybe even forced Alex and Getty into rediscovering their own art.
Yeah.
A little bit, because, one of the things that was mentioned a lot, I went back and watched all of the previous stuff, all of the interview footage and the little cryptic videos that were getting posted. And one of the interviews with Getty, he emphasized the point that she was not really all that familiar with Rush.
Right.
She was familiar with Neil and obviously knew of him as a drummer, but she had a lack of familiarity other than the highlight, of the career. So
that's an interesting point.
I think that was maybe a selling point for them, because they didn't want to hire some drooling fanboy who was going to come in and just, fan worship. I think they really genuinely wanted someone who would bring the legacy forward with talent and sensitivity. I think those are the two qualities that they really have latched onto with her. She's very talented, and she's obviously very sensitive to what those guys want. They didn't say a word or speak to any other drummers about this possibility.
Right.
It was her or nothing.
Right.
I don't think they had a backup plan, because I think that once they met her in person and got to hang with her a little bit, they were just like, well, this has to work because we just get along so well.
Sure.
It was, I wonder, I would love to ask them, if I ever had a chance to ask those guys a question, to compare and contrast the first meeting with Annika and the first meeting with Neil, and how they were similar and how they were different.
Yeah, that'd be very interesting.
I think their answers would, Alex and Getty are very interesting people, and I think that the answer to that question would be quite interesting.
Well, I also think you hit the nail on the proverbial head with something you just said, and if you want, and there's nothing wrong with this, but if you want to watch drummers who are fanboying over him, go see any of the numerous excellent Rush tribute bands. There are a lot of them, and they are all very good, and you can see that. I think they wanted to stay. I agree with you 100%. I think they were like, all right, it's actually in her favor that she didn't fanboy over us or fangirl over us or know us like the back of her hand, and has known our whole catalog. She has to learn us, and she has to figure us out in her own way. I think that actually is a strength going forward, because it means she's not, well, I'm going to play this exactly 100% the way Neil did it. No, and he wouldn't want you to do that. I don't think they want you to do that.
No,
play the fills that are necessary, that we all know and love. Play those. But otherwise, make the songs your own. And I don't think any like a drummer for the tribute project, I don't think, or any of those bands, I don't think they would do that. I think they'd be like, I got to nail it just exactly the way Neil did. And I don't think that's what they were looking for. And so I think they get that with Annika. They get something different in that.
Yeah, regard. There's Why Not. There's another one called A Farewell to Kings that's stellar. Right. They're in the world of tribute bands, the Rush tribute bands probably stand head and shoulders over a lot of the other ones, because some of the guys in those Rush tribute acts are just insanely good. There's one called the Rush Tribute Project that I believe they're out of Chicago.
They're coming here in June.
They are absolutely stunning.
My brother and I and friends already have front row tickets to see them.
Yeah,
I've watched video of them, and it was like, Jeremy, we've got to go. As soon as I saw, they are so good. They are just, you channel them. It's crazy.
The thing I love about the Rush Tribute Project is that there are other Rush tribute acts out there that might have a weakness in one area or another. Maybe the guy doing Getty stuff is not quite as strong as the guy doing Alex. The guys in the Rush Tribute Project, they're all of equal strength. And in particular, the guy that plays guitar in that band just nails everything. He uses the right guitars. His sounds are correct. Yep. He's playing pedals like Alex plays. A lot of the other guys doing Alex's routine don't bother playing the Taurus pedals and
Right.
the sound triggering devices. But
The drummer
and
has drums very much akin to, I think, the
very
R30
much,
kit, or
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
Even
then
wears the beanie, and
yep, yeah.
it's not a
I mean,
beanie.
and they're phenomenal, and they sound phenomenal
Yeah,
if you've ever listened to them on YouTube. It was what made me
I
realize
have.
immediately. It's like, they're coming here, we're going,
Yeah,
and so yeah, I'm
yeah,
super excited about that. I say all that to say, that's if you're wanting to see the guys who are playing Rush just like Rush used to and are fanboying about them, that's what you need to do. Rush, the new version of Rush obviously wanted to pay homage and to Neil, but have a little bit of originality from a new drummer on it. This is the best way to go. Go with
yeah.
somebody who knows who you are, but is not a huge fan and knows your catalog backwards and forwards. And
Well, and plus, if they hired, let's just call it what it is. If they hired a clone,
mhm.
if they hired somebody like that, it sort of encapsulates you and it holds you down from progressing. Alex and Geddy have always been players who are always looking forward. They're
Yep,
always looking ahead.
100%.
I think an attraction, part of the attraction to Annika for them has been, okay, we're going to come out, we're going to pay tribute to Neil on this tour, we're going to do all of this. And if it seems right at that point to do more new music, she is going to help them go that direction, guide their way forward. If they had hired somebody who was maybe a name player or a very devoted Neil Peart fanatic, it might have been harder for them to try and go forward with
Sure.
any new stuff. So you know, I have not had a problem with her or her selection for 1 second the entire time, and
Neither
I've
have I.
maintained every time it's come up in conversation, I have maintained that I think Neil would be very pleased. He would be, if Neil was still here but not able to or unwilling to play drums and gave his blessing to the guys to go and do it, he would be, well, according to the interview after the Juno Awards,
You guys are crazy.
you guys are idiots.
Idiots.
They said, "What would Neil say? You guys are
You
idiots."
guys are idiots. Which
But
is, I mean,
I
that's
I
exactly
think
what he would say. And then he
I
would
think
say,
he would
"Go
be
forward with my blessing." He
I
would.
think he would be all about it. He would be very excited. He would be I think he would approve of their choice.
Yeah, I agree.
A Anyway,
And I think they
so
sounded great at the Junos, and I think it was a massive surprise to most people. Most people are like, "What?" I remember I watched it and then was asking all my friends, just showing it to all my friends, and they're like, "What?" They had no idea. They had no idea
right.
that it was happening. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
but it
thought I
was
was
good.
sharing breaking news with you, and you already knew about it.
Ow.
So
I have my thumb on that pretty well with them. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought she played the part very well. As anyone who's a drummer knows, that's a fun part to play. It's not particularly difficult, but it is you have to play it right. You have to play it the right way for it to have the right feel. And she nailed it. She nailed it.
it really demonstrated, that they've been rehearsing because they had a
Yes.
very there was an ease of ensemble playing there that
Yep.
was
They played off
important.
each other really well. Yeah.
And the other thing too, I mean, we were talking about the sound. Award shows are not necessarily noted for having the best sound quality
Mhm.
when things like this go down. And whoever was responsible for engineering this did an absolutely superb job. I thought there was clarity and depth. And obviously, you want to listen to it with good headphones or on a good speaker system. If you're just watching it on your phone, you're not going to get the same effect. But
No,
it was very, very well engineered. And whoever did it, I have no idea. I didn't look it up or anything, but
I didn't
whoever
either.
did it, hats off because it sounded really, really excellent. Like I said earlier, particularly the guitar and bass sounds and the blend. One of the trademarks of good early Rush is that blending of the guitar and the bass and how they
Sure.
sort of become this amorphous blob that the two instruments feed off one another in a certain way that was kind
Right.
of it evolved over time, but at that particular point in time, the mix they had for it on Sunday, I thought was stellar.
Well, and
So
then for anyone who was going to the show, but was a little worried about, well, I'm going, but I don't really know what to expect. I think this pretty much cleared up. Okay, they're going to be able to play. They're going to be able to
Yeah.
sound good when they
Yep.
play. So
Yep.
I think it probably quelled some worries in some people's minds. May have made other people who were previously like, "No, I don't think I'm going to go." Maybe go, "Well, I might go. I might go see him now." I mean,
There
I
were a
don't
lot
know.
of smiles on that stage.
Yes, there
They were
were.
Alex and Getty were smiling at each other quite a bit, and,
And they were
I don't know what.
smiling at Annika, and she was smiling back at them. That's
Yeah,
the other
yeah.
thing. I think I felt like, and I'm sitting here watching it on. I'm not there, but it looked to me like the chemistry is there. It's in its budding stages,
Mhm.
but it's there. They
Well,
like each other, and you can tell they
Getty
like.
threw his arm around her as they were walking off stage. I would love to know what they were saying to each other.
Yeah, I would have loved to have
Um,
heard it too. I would have
it
loved
it really it appears as though, the building blocks are all there, and they're, I
And I'll
think
tell
it's
you
gonna.
another thing. It makes me want and feel excited for the possibility of them recording an album with her. She clearly can hold her own with them in her playing. And so I'd be very curious to see what their music would be like and what it would do and what it would sound like with her drumming on it, like with her making her own part and her figuring out what she's going to do to their writing. And would
Right,
it how would it be different from Neil? How would it be similar? I mean, it's just fascinating to me. And
right.
so yeah, it really got me excited. A, for the concert, and then B, to see what they do, because I could really see them moving forward with her and saying, "This is working, so let's do something. Let's make some new music together."
It's actually kind of a similar feeling. We just got done talking about different stages, and it's actually a similar feeling to around the time, when Vapor Trails came out,
Yeah,
because we really thought there wasn't gonna be any more, and
I
I
know.
really thought there wasn't gonna be any more Rush. I really thought it was
So did
all
I.
done,
This all
s
took me
and
by
they've
surprise.
done it to us twice
Yes,
as
they have.
fans where we had ourselves all calmed and settled, and, okay, that was a great run.
But were we ever really calmed and settled? I know I wasn't. I always missed them. That's why I was so ecstatic when they announced that they were going back on tour again. I was like, "Oh my god!" I was almost in tears because I missed them so much. I mean, yeah, we had come to a level of acceptance of it. Yes, of course,
It just
you
seemed
have
like
to.
after Neil's death, it just seemed to me, when I thought about it, when I read about it, that with Alex's serious health issues and, there seemed like there were all of these things that had to be
Mounting issues.
overcome,
Yeah,
and Alex and Getty have found a way,
yep, they have. They
so finding
finding
my
their
way
way.
is they're finding their way. So that's an apt, song to choose for
Just
that, I
another
think.
reason that it was a good choice of song. It really was. And that's anyone who knows me well and knows my rut. That's my least favorite album of theirs. I love it because I love every
Mhm.
Rush album. That's my least favorite, but I really cannot argue at all with their choice of why they and of song to come out with. When the first time you play with her, it was pretty much perfect. Pretty much a
I
perfect
I
choice.
almost never play the first album, but I love Finding My Way. It's just a.
There's several songs on there I like. I just don't
Yeah.
play it very often. In their catalog, most of their albums are much more in my vein, so I play them more often. But I do like that album, and I do like several songs on it.
Yeah, Finding My Way would have been at home on Fly By Night had it not made the first album.
That's right.
It
That's
just
right.
has a similar kind of, aggressiveness about it.
Right.
Really for me, the first Rush album is Fly By Night.
Yeah,
I consider the debut album is really a different band
I
because,
agree.
and
I've
it's a
had that
great
argument.
band.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
it's a
is,
great
but
band.
but it's a band that's not found themselves yet.
Not
And
yet.
that and then this album is where, in my opinion, that's okay. They are establishing exactly who they are, and they're
Yep.
going to grow on this, and they're going to change this and alter this. But this establishes who they are and the kind of band they were going to be.
Yeah.
And to me, the debut album, great as it was and is, didn't do that. It
Yeah.
didn't. So yeah, you and I are of the same mind on that. But yeah,
Uh,
just has me super excited. So glad they did it. Really, really, really cool way and a perfect venue and stage to introduce her to them and them as a new threesome. What better than the Canadian music
I
awards.
think it should be pointed out too, and I wasn't aware of this. They've won many Junos over the year, including their very earliest one for Best New Group, I believe it was,
right.
when they were still, pre-Neil. But
Oh
they had
yeah.
never performed on the award show
Yeah, that's
before.
crazy. That's
That's the
very
first
crazy.
time they ever performed on the show, so I thought that was very cool. You know, it all I think we can both be in agreement that it bodes well for the future for the band and for the tour coming up. It bodes
Yep.
well. It's a good harbinger of things to come. I had no doubt that Annika would be impressive, and
Neither did I. I've watched her enough, and being a drummer, have known of her, and I mean really known of her, listened to her solo stuff, listened to her stuff with Nick Fletcher and stuff like that, and just know that she's just top class. And they wouldn't choose someone that wasn't top class and couldn't handle it. And
I
if
think
they
you're right.
had chosen somebody and they couldn't handle it, they would have never made the stage with them. They just wouldn't have done it. They would have cut it off a long time ago and said, we can't, this is not working out. So, the fact that they even brought her forward and that she's on that stage, she's capable, and she showed it. She proved it. So I'm super excited about it.
Well, I think Alex and Getty have shown us that, and as far as being animals, they mate for life, and they.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I'm sure that in their minds that they have chosen the last drummer that they're going to have.
I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that.
That's just how those
and
guys
I don't
are
know
wired.
that we get a new album from them. And if we do, I don't know that we get more than one. But they're obviously still have gas in their tank, and they want to continue to drive while it's their turn to drive. So they are they're doing it, and I love them for it. I love them for it. And
so everyone watching this program, if you have not seen the Juno performance, go and find it.
Easy to find.
It was a nice little surprise nugget at the end of the weekend. I had no idea it was happening, and it was just a complete shock to me. And I'm happy they did it because it's very cool. And it makes me excited for what they're going to unveil in the upcoming tour. I think it was the right song for a number of reasons. I think it would have been, it would have certainly put a lot of pressure on Annika to do something like Tom Sawyer.
Oh yeah.
Which is very tricky, deceptively so. And even Neil himself had trouble playing that as consistently as he liked.
You have to be so precise with it.
Not that she's not capable of that, but this is a better way for her to be relaxed and show her power.
Right.
Which
don't worry, I think everyone's going to get to see her nail Tom Sawyer when the tour.
Oh no! Clearly, if Rush is going to do a tour, that's expected.
Absolutely.
So there's plenty to look forward to there. So
yeah, well, I'm excited about it.
I think that's about all we got to say on that subject. We just kind of wanted to cast our line in the very crowded pool of people offering their take on it. Being Rush fans, we're both excited and enjoyed it immensely. And Chris is going to see the tour. As of today, I'm not going. That may change if we look into some reasonably priced tickets later. It's just not. I have a new Myth of Logic album to pay for, and so that's gonna take precedence, unfortunately. And anyway, so yeah. That's about all we've got time for on that subject today, kids. Thanks for tuning in. You can find both of us, myself, Scott G. Davis, and my friend Christopher Clark. You can find both of us on Facebook and Instagram and everywhere you doom scroll. We are lurking and hiding out in dark corners, waiting to pounce on you and flog our wares all up in your face. So, I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you've enjoyed this little segment of our crazy little world. Feel free to like and subscribe if you want, or don't. Hey,
feel free to not. Feel free to tell us to hit the road.
We're good either way. So,
we don't care.
Thanks for tuning into this latest edition of Long Tracks and Tall Tales. And until we're together again, be good to one another.